episode 82. This is Lego, and I've got with me Hove, Mana, Triton, and our special guest this week from the Destiny community. We've got Shackle with us. Thank you so much for joining us.
Glad to be here.
How's your week been? How's your week in gaming or social media or everything that you're up to? How's it been?
It's been very good. Played a lot of Iron Banner. Got a lot of tractor cannon kills. Proud of myself. I've been able to quit with my tractor cannon
Jelly.
kills.
Nice.
Still have yet to get it. Jelly.
Yeah, I've never gotten
really
it.
That's
fun.
because you just started playing again like yesterday.
But when I did play it, I didn't get it. And I'm jelly.
Yeah, how the rest of you guys liking Iron Banner? I'm like, I feel like it's really fun. I'm really enjoying it.
I've been enjoying it. I've actually been playing the past couple days out. That's all I've been playing. So it's actually really fun, surprisingly.
And anybody who has ever listened to this knows that until like last weekend, no matter what we told Mana about updates and them being fun, he didn't play for like months. And if he did, he was like, fuck this, I'm done. So
The dawning came and went and all the mayhem, and he was like, nah,
I
maybe.
skipped out on a lot of it. It's just like, I don't know. It's just like from previous times, I just didn't have an urge. You guys were telling me, I'm like, maybe I'll get around to it. I never did up until the Go Fast update. Then I've actually been playing quite a bit.
yeah, I've really been liking it. I mean, spawning is just an issue across PvP, I think, right now.
Yeah.
At times, there's definitely been times where I've spawned into like 3 people looking at me, and it's like they're just as confused as I am. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I've spawned with the whole enemy team spawning. Like, I see a guy spawn from me. I'm like, oh, I guess I'll spawn, kill him, get killed from the side, and just see a wave of people run past me. I'm just like that was just everyone. Like,
but
what are they doing here?
it hasn't been too bad. It hasn't hindered, my fun. I've really been liking it. I've been playing mostly Arcstrider, which is still a lot of fun
really
since the
fun.
update. So
Yeah.
I'm
I
happy
still
they
need
went.
to give that another go.
Yeah, you definitely do. I'm definitely glad they went with the 6v6 and kind of took it back to D1 Iron Banner, because if nothing else, it speeds up the game, and that's what we wanted. So I'm happy.
I've been digging the Iron Banner, so I really wanted to play 6s. I think since we talked about the rotation and list, I was hoping that Iron Banner would come back as 6s. So trying to get my crew that I used to play with on Sundays back for this Sunday, but was able to play with a lot of the clanmates and some other friends. Played with Lego, HTX, and a bunch of other people recently, so that was nice. And I've actually done a lot in Destiny this week. I actually got my Titan through the story, so I was pretty happy to finally get done with the story. So now my second character is now through the Curse of Osiris DLC story, and I think I just have that like one heroic adventure left that I kind of don't want to do on my own, so I'm going to try to sucker somebody into doing it with me. But other than that, I've gotten that all done. I think a Nightfall. I did guided games and actually got into a Nightfall. I don't know why chat's required for the person who joins when the other people don't want to chat with you. So we did get through the Nightfall, but I didn't have any chat, so I experienced guided games.
Did they like specifically tell you, like, I don't want to talk to you or something?
No,
like that,
I just joined, and like I had to have my mic on, so like you could see my emblem with like the speaker, and they didn't have theirs on. So I'm like, cool. And I've been kind of fighting this cold, so I definitely was just like blowing my nose and sneezing and coughing into the mic. I'm like, well, you're not responding, you're not telling me what to do, so I'll just I'm just gonna be me. And we did get through it. I didn't get the hand cannon though. That was kind of the one thing I wanted.
Yeah,
I only made one attempt at it. So.
I wanted to ask about that, but real quick, funny story.
Ask about that.
I got mine on my second Nightfall, so I'm pretty happy.
Oh,
with
I
that.
hate
But,
you.
Fans in my chat.
the best part is,
going
it was
to
my
my chat and banning you.
it was my second Prestige Nightfall. I'd never done one before, and I was like, "Well, we'll do Prestige."
She's gone. She's like, I'm out.
But quick funny story. So we were playing. I think it was just last night, and we came across a friend of Triton's, Yang 13 Yin, and now I knew that like that name was similar to a friend of Triton's, but I wasn't 100% sure it was him until I looked on Twitter, and I was like, Yang 13 Yin. I was like, and they were like, yeah, what? And I was like, I think that's Triton's friend. And so everyone bust out laughing, like, hysterically, and I was like, what? And they were like, that's fucked up, man, just because his name's Yang and Triton's Asian. I was like, no, I swear to God, I think it's Triton's friend. And then he messaged me, so I was right, I was vindicated. But everyone thought I was like this terrible person, stereotyping Asians. And it was really your friend.
You're a terrible person, but I mean, beyond that, though, that was a very innocent question.
It was an innocent question. But yeah, so I have a DFA, and I like it.
Oh my gosh. Well, I wanted to say real quick that I enjoyed Iron Banner a lot too. I didn't think that I was going to enjoy it. Like I thought that 4v4 was like the max the maps could take and it was going to be like way too much. But I should have known I was going to love it whenever I loved 8-Man Rumble and it was like super crazy and now this is super crazy and it's like almost like the mayhem I wanted from Mayhem because Mayhem is just only supers. Like yeah, it's a bunch of action and stuff but only without guns. And this is like a bunch of action, but with guns. And so I really like it, just running around and just seeing how long you can survive for as long as you can, you know. But I also went farming for that hand cannon and did not get it. And I was there escorting Hove whenever he got it on his second try. And I was very mad about that. But Shackle, did you grind for any of those, the strike specific stuff like the sniper or the hand cannon or any of that stuff, the strike specific loot whenever it was around?
I tried, but I really want to get the hand cannon because everyone's talking about it, and it was dummy in the Crucible, and did like 29 nightfalls, and then no, I give up. I freaking hate RNG, and I wrote like 13 rants about it on Twitter, and I just walked out of the room and just I don't know, so I rage quit it. I'll get it someday.
Totally understandable, in my opinion.
29. That is
That's
commendable. That is commendable.
You guys got to be proud of me because not only did I grind for the DFA, which I'm totally going to say I got it 7 minutes before reset. Okay.
Oh, what?
7 minutes before reset. I was losing all hope. I was in, I want to say either mid 30s or 40s. How many times I did it? I grinded for like 12 hours. And
Wilson did like 34 hours.
34 hours.
Oh
Wilson
my
did.
God.
And he ever get? He did get it, didn't he?
He did
get it.
Okay.
He posted when he got it.
Thank God.
He never got the sniper though.
This one guy, I tweeted my rage and all that, you know, because Pope Bear, the night like I quit. When was it? Monday night, and then like 5 minutes after I tweeted something about the DFA, Pope tweeted, "Thank you for all helping me. I got it on my 5th try." I'm just like. Yeah, okay. That's fine. I tried it 6 hours, no big deal. But what was I going to say? Oh, there's a guy on Twitter that tweeted back at me saying he's did it 128 times or something like that, and still have yet to get it, and he never got it. I'm just like, dude, I'm.
Here's the thing, though. That means next time it comes around, they still have something to grind for on that nightfall and a reason to play.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
I know. I do. So here's the thing with it. Like, I think it's a lot, and I think that there needs to be some. And I think we talked about this last time, even with the sniper and everything. Like, I think there needs to be some sort of extra thing that makes you feel like you're working towards the thing that you want. Like, with like, I don't want what was in D1, but just as an example, like you got some form of the gun you wanted with the random rolls. It wasn't the roll maybe you were looking for. You got something. Maybe there's some sort of progression we could have that like brings us to that, because I, like Hove said, I do like that there's a grind, and even though I didn't get the hand cannon, I definitely want to try and go for it again. Like, I think it was fun rolling with friends and like talking with them and hanging out when I wouldn't have otherwise, maybe, or I would have been playing another game or just playing Rumble by myself or something.
Well, I do just want to point out, just to end that conversation, I don't know if I told you, but I got it on my 2nd nightfall.
No one likes it.
You're right. I do want to end this conversation.
You're a bad person. You're back to being a bad person.
I can end it on a high note, though. I will say, so I invited Lego the other day. I thought he was going to do the dodge. I thought that, like, Hove and I have kind of talking about, like, the Lego dodge. So he joins the party to play. So, I mean, I was like, well, I guess you just join the party to say you don't want to play. So that's fair. But then I was very careful to, like, keep watching. I'm like, is Lego going to do a 2-minute job, then come back and play by himself for, 2 hours? He did not. He did not. In fact, he came back later and played with us. So I was very, very impressed.
I do want to point out quickly that I think it might just be you, Triton, because
it is, because you guys don't invite me to everywhere. I'm the least popular person on the show. I understand. I get it, guys.
For anyone who's listening, Triton told us beforehand that he was tired, so he drank lots of caffeine. So you're actually going to hear him talk.
I did drink a lot, and I ate that steak ranch hoagie. So
the last couple days, one day, Lego was like, "Oh, I'm playing D2. Are you playing?" And I was like, "We just finished. We're gonna go play PUBG." Okay, I'll be right there. And then today he was like, "Oh, did you guys just finish PUBG?" And I was like, "Yeah, but we're going to play Destiny." Okay, I'll be right there. So I'm just saying, maybe it's you he doesn't want to play with. I don't know.
It's possible. I almost wanted to play with Mana about an hour ago because he's playing Ewok Hunts. I don't want to
derail the
conversation.
That looks terrifying.
I was like,
It does look
It's
terrifying.
actually scarier when you're the stormtrooper. It's actually much scarier
it's
than you would
scarier.
think.
Did you
Because
do
it-
like lights off? Did you do like pitch black in the room?
No, because of my
No.
green screen, like it'd be a box in the
Oh,
corner without the
God.
light on. But like, while you're a stormtrooper, I didn't
Oh.
expect it to be that creepy because
It's creepy.
literally pitch black. All you have is a flashlight. If you're the normal stormtrooper,
Yep.
you have to like recharge it every
Yep.
after.
The
so
cooldown's short, but it
much.
does. Yeah, you
It's,
do have to
yeah,
recharge
it's
it.
still. It's just like, but there's that one cave that makes me rage
Yeah.
because I actually love like I go out find a trap myself a couple times to turn into an Ewok, just so I can try it out because I was never chosen to be the alpha
You never
Ewok
chose to
yet.
be the Ewok?
No, it's
Oh.
The
never.
alpha
But,
Ewok.
The
Well,
alpha
there's
Ewok.
two out of the
Yeah,
20
two
people that play
Ewoks.
two go Ewok
Mhm.
first.
This
But,
is
like, it's-
such a weird conversation to listen to, not
Dude,
knowing
it's
what you're
great.
talking about.
It's so
Also-
it's fun.
The very last thing before we get into the important part of the show,
Ewok
I just saw in Discord, Mana, that the event mode that just came back for PUBG that's live right now, that'll be live
Yeah.
after the podcast, is the flare gun mode.
Flare gun mode.
If you like, they put flare guns around the map, and if you find one, you shoot it up in the air, and a special package drops that has like the contents of 2 different packages in it.
Oh,
But the second you shoot it up
really?
in the air, everybody can see
everyone
it.
sees you.
Yeah.
So,
So just saying.
Shoot people with
that's
flare
actually
guns.
interesting. I have reinstalled it.
I know.
So
So we're playing after the podcast. I'll see you there, bud.
I
Okay,
might have to actually.
well, getting back on track with the Destiny stuff, I want, we have this special person on the podcast here that we haven't even got to know for us and for those who are listening that don't know Shackle. Shackle, where, they might have noticed a little bit of an accent. Where are you from?
Well, I'm from Lithuania originally, and then I moved to Finland, which is a country whose existence is debatable, according to many people. Our Finland conspiracy. But I know where my accent comes from. For all I know, I'm like the granddaughter of Tommy Wiseau or something. I know.
Tell me why
Almost.
so. Yes. That would be awesome. We should look that up. We should figure that out. That would be worth knowing.
I wouldn't be surprised at this point.
Well, we are very happy to have you. We know it's in a completely different time zone right now, super early, and so we appreciate you coming out and being on the show. And also, we want to get to know you a little bit because we've seen, I'm sure if you're in the Destiny community in some form or fashion, somebody has seen, if you're listening, you've probably seen your tweet around, whether it's through the devs themselves retweeting you about certain things or commenting on your work as an artist or your Photoshop skills recently with the newest Warmind update, but also with your basically social media gathering of all the dev stuff. You compile all of their stuff and put it into an easy to read thing like, hey, this is what they said in this past week. But yeah, I mean, you're everywhere right now. So tell us a little bit about what you personally feel like your place is in the Destiny community, what you enjoy doing, or what you like doing in the game even.
Well, I don't know. I guess I'm sort of like a beacon of light at this point. Because around Curse of Osiris release, the times were rough. They were the best of times, they were the worst of times. People were yelling. I deactivated my Twitter account because I rage quit. But then I came back. There were a lot of people claiming that Bungie isn't talking to the community and all, and that the silence was deafening and a bunch of other stuff. I kept telling people that, hey, they've been answering questions on Reddit and the forums, and then I realized, hey, who the hell wants to go to Reddit and the forums, because Reddit is very aggressively passionate about Destiny right now. And basically I thought Bungie was getting a lot of unnecessary flack. Most of our questions and concerns that already have been answered and addressed on sites designed by people who shouldn't be legally allowed to own a coding software, let alone get paid to design websites. There was so much negativity going around about gamers. I just kind of wanted to be a positive thing in the community. I wanted to prove a point how much I hate Reddit's layout and be a positive thing amidst the darkness. And I just wanted to get a birthday message from Shax's voice actor, so that's the main goal of this thing.
I like that whole thing. We didn't know how it came about, but we knew about the big compilation of info and everything, and I always thought that was cool. But the whole reasoning behind that speaks to me, because there's nothing I like more than proving some of the idiots on Twitter wrong that complain about things. So like the
Yeah.
fact, like I like have to hold myself back from sending like 3 tweets. Like the fact that you went out and like were like, fuck you guys, I'm gonna pull all this stuff together and show you wrong is like the most impressive thing ever. Like that is like something I wish I would have done. That's the most awesome reason that could have come out of that conversation for starting that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
For real. And not only that, but you did it in a way like I love how Hove is just like immediately calling them idiots, but you said it so like
I said some people. I didn't say everybody's an idiot.
I know. I'm just saying
It's a synonym.
she said it so elegantly though, in a way that is like and she went about it in an elegant way too, is like, you know, I see like this problem and I'm gonna not just call out the problem, but like provide the solution, which is like, hey, they are talking. These are the answers that the devs are giving. You just haven't seen them. And I like your reasoning of like, well, of course these people aren't going to Reddit or whatever because they like don't want to read all of the hate stuff necessarily. Either that or that's all that they're getting from it and not seeing the devs' comments. And so it's really cool that you go around and do all. How much time does that take to do? Like, is it like an intensive process? Do you like have certain times of the day like delegated or something to like look at that stuff? Or are you just really into the game yourself and you're like, oh, these are the things that I found?
Well, it's a sort of like 6-month long process, I think. Because at first I started like posting things on Twitter with screenshot, here's the daily summary. And then I sort of realized that I became the monster I was trying to fight because it was impossible to find those summaries by going into my Twitter because I post a lot of other stuff. So it created a doc. At first, the Google Doc was like 1 page, but then things kept piling on and piling on. I was like 25 pages. So it's sort of like a process. Like there's 25 pages written in a day. Like I keep adding it onto it every day. And I'm working on a website, but real life stuff. And the person that's helping us writing his bachelor's thesis. So it's getting along. It'll be live soon because I want to burn that freaking doc because it's slow and sluggish. I want to have some more organized.
That's awesome.
That's cool though. That's awesome that you've got like a whole system in place for it. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's just commitment. I could never do that.
Look at me, just
like,
blown away.
I'm just like, wow, that's a lot. That's a lot to do, huh?
And it's like looking at all those people that say that Bungie doesn't talk and going, booyah. Also, ding, ding, ding. I don't want anyone to think I actually said booyah, that it wasn't one of my words. That was one of my words.
Oh my gosh, really?
Wait,
yeah.
You had to ding yourself?
Ding, yeah.
Wait, you don't want anyone to think you say, I've heard, who else has heard Hove say booyah? I feel
I've
like
never, I definitely, no.
Someone should look through all the episodes. I feel like we've heard it once or twice. So Shackle, oftentimes I find like when you're trying to be the light of something, you end up taking on a lot of like negative energy yourself. So over the course of that, you've done this and you're trying to shut people down. You're trying to say, look, they actually do talk. Have you felt like there's been negative energy directed to you? And how has that kind of continued to fuel your passion so that you can, keep putting out this news?
Yeah, but that's what the mute button on Twitter is for. Because like now and then, like Twitter is freaking weird. When someone likes your tweet, it pops up on other people's tweets. Like this person liked the tweet. So now and then when a dev or someone likes my tweet, I get like people that don't follow me saying, "Oh my god, game is trash. Fuck yourself," kind of thing. So I just mute them, and then I barely see any negativity now. It's because I muted the worst offenders, and I don't care. Like, I don't have enough time in my day to sort of police what others should do with their lives. But if someone like says, "Oh, Bungie hasn't talked about this," I'll be happy to link them something. But I'm not like actively saying, "Look at this, and now go and play the game because you're a scandal," kind of thing. Like, do what you want in real life. I don't have time to police what games to play what you do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I do it for the people that still enjoy the game, that still want the info. I'm just not gonna like go to Reddit comments and like analyze every single one and then respond. I just don't have the time.
That's cool. Yeah, I find myself doing that a lot as far as like not muting a lot of people, but for me, like what you were saying about like there's people who like playing the game and so they like seeing things that like encourage them to have fun in the game or like are interesting to them in the game. And for me, I find myself like following a lot of people that just whatever they're posting is like increasing my enjoyment of the game. And I don't really follow things that don't like, if they're not increasing my enjoyment of the game, then I'm like, why would I follow that person, other than from like maybe a podcast perspective, if I'm trying to get like different opinions or something like that. But if it's just like pure hate, it's like it's not doing anything for me. Like, why would I follow that, you know?
Yeah, thing is, a lot of things people, especially people influenced pillars of the Destiny community, a lot of things they said weren't insightful. They were just whining.
Yeah.
While I agree that community managers have a responsibility to listen and take criticism from all angles and sides, some things spouted aren't helpful at all. It's literally just whining. So then just mute the whining, and if you say something bad about a game, if you keep constructive, then I still gonna read you and it's gonna still a discussion. But if you just whine and like don't provide solutions or say anything constructive, then I don't know. I'm not gonna listen to you. I don't have the time in my life for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And especially, I mean, you had people that like, you know, it got to the point where there were people making personal attacks on like devs and Deej, and like that's ridiculous.
That's just
so
over the top
up.
ridiculous. Like
If-
it's unnecessary. Like
you're-
to even say anything at that point.
If you're that upset, you want to personally attack somebody. At Triton, please, is who you want to.
Wait, no, I get enough of those like normally. So
Wait,
please
what?
no more. No, I get a fair amount of those. I mean, just covering sports. I get them. all the time.
Okay.
Like I can't.
That
I
makes
usually
sense.
get a fair amount.
And that's part of the thing. Like people saying, well, this developer isn't talking to us. Meanwhile, whenever they tweet, like they continue to tell how much you love sausages or something, like they're like mustard on them. You go to the responses and see this game sucks. You ruined everything. Like for example, what really got me angry, I remember when Cosmo posted a picture of his daughter
I was
during
just gonna
Thanksgiving.
say that.
Yeah, and then I just look at the comments, and then majority of the comments were like, just look at this video this person posted. Your game sucks. Please fix it. Forward this to just the devs. And so like, happy Thanksgiving to your family. And it's just stuff like that that really agitates me.
Yeah, I'm with you. So Shackle, what is it about Destiny, like the game that like drew you to the community to begin with? What was it? Something to do with the community? Was it something about the game? Was there other games that you played that were like it or anything like that? What was it that brought you to this community?
Well, I've always been a fan of like RPGs, kind of. I have a huge thing for games that say, "Yo, create your unique character and now run in around this world and explore and do quests and lose hours of your life in it." Like the thing is, I think black magic and the weird series of events got me into this game. It's honestly a miracle. I didn't have a PS4 when the game got released, but a couple of my friends did. They were really hyped about the game. They were saying, "Oh my god, this is Bungie's second coming. It'll be Jesus Christ 2.0 the video game." And fines and all. When the game got released, pretty much all my friends refunded it. I'm not gonna lie, like they refunded. They talked about the game was bad and told me not to get it because it was awful story and too grindy and werewolves will eat you in your sleep. Flash forward to something later, I kind of forgot that Destiny was even a thing. I thought it died out completely. And when Jur sold Galahorn for a second time, I think, people on my Twitter feed just freaked out about it.
Yeah,
and then
crazy.
only then I got a reminder that the game was still a thing. And when Taken King was released, I started hearing stuff like, they fixed the game. It's enjoyable now. Anyway, I was on my PS3 one day, kind of browsing the store, and then I saw the Destiny trial. I said to myself, how bad can this possibly be? Let's give this a shot. I don't care. It's free. You might as well just go in there. And everything since then is kind of a blur. The next thing I know, I had a PS4 and hundreds of hours poured into the game. But really what ended up captivating me with the game was the unique world, an FPS on console that you actually play and probably aim your gun with because the aim assist was actually good for once. And the general uniqueness from other games. It wasn't really like a game I played before. I didn't play Halo because I didn't have an Xbox, and I wasn't really allowed to buy games when I was younger due to reasons. So Destiny was one of my first entries into Bungie's world. Even though like I was very familiar with Halo, I just haven't played it.
Right.
But yeah, I'm just like a giant fan of RPGs, like Mass Effect, Dragon Age kind of thing. I'm wearing a Dragon Age hoodie right now as well, my favorite hoodie of all time.
Nice.
So
I think it's
you
cool.
feel like
I was just saying, I think it's cool that like we have so many, like we ask that question of pretty much everyone that comes on here for the first time, and it's so cool. Like we know that, you know, Destiny had RPG elements and some MMO elements and obviously shooter elements, but it's so cool to hear people like, we've had people say, all I ever played was shooters, so I played it because it was a shooter. Or, I only played RPGs and I played it because an RPG. Like it's so cool that it brought so many different types of people into it, and that's not even like the community. Like I don't care about that. Even if they left, it was just cool that it drew so many different styles of gamers. I think that's neat.
The community was definitely part of it because eventually I got burnt out from my game and let the game go. But then I started streaming, and the Destiny Twitch community was awesome, and that started getting me playing every day. Started hopping in PvP and hanging out with people. So if it weren't for the Twitch community, I probably would not have clocked as many hours in the game as I had.
Yeah.
But I still love the world and whatnot, nonetheless.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm with Hove. Like I'm amazed too at like all the different ways. Just, the other week we had Loki and River on a couple, and they were talking about how like I think Loki played more shooters and River played more RPGs, and yet this was a game that kind of had both that they could play together. And I thought that was really cool. And you're right, Hove. Like a lot of us like that play different kinds of games wouldn't be friends otherwise, and this game kind of opens you up to community and then like creates these friendships that we have with people who played entirely different kinds of games before this, but it brought us all together, and that's really cool.
Well, Shadow Hunter just said in chat, I don't really know how this one works, but he said, I only played Madden, and 5,000 hours later, I'm here.
Yeah, that happens.
There's some correlation, I swear.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
The online component?
Maybe it's strategy. I don't know.
I like the people who didn't even know anything. The people didn't even know anything about it, like Rally and Davis. Remember, Rally said like he was like, "Oh, there's this game, I'll play it," and he got on and he said he like loaded in the Cosmodrome, and somebody named like Big Daddy ran by, and he was like, "That can't be a character's name. Wait, that's another real person. What?" So yeah, just lots of cool entries into the game that I thought were interesting.
So Shackle, you mentioned that you kind of came back to Destiny when Gallahorn was sold like a second time by Xur, and so you saw that on your Twitter feed, and then now you kind of see a lot of people's negativity on Twitter feeds, but sometimes there's people that are positive. Since you're collecting all of this information that devs are putting out in this like social media environment, how do you think devs can get ahead of some of the negativity? Do you think that's possible, or do you think there's a way to deliver messages consistently enough where they can kind of get ahead of all of the hatred, or maybe that's not possible?
Well, I think people will always be people, and there will always be people that hate things. But I mean, I think it would help significantly to like take things they said on Reddit and Twitter and basically my daily summaries and put them in the TWAB, because a lot of awesome info is said on Reddit. Like if you go to my doc and like Control F Daniel, he has said so many great things about the raid mechanics and what his mindset was behind the decisions and everything. So much awesome stuff is said, even behind the scenes stuff, and those are things that definitely should be in the TWAB. Like I don't care if it's like if they hire someone else to do it and I don't have a job anymore, they ask me to do it for free or something like that. But it's info like that definitely needs to be in the TWAB. I think it will lessen a lot of things. And but I think it's impossible to get rid of all the hate, because I mean Destiny will always be a game that has this negative connotation around it. They always have that dead game joke and whatnot. I don't think you can get rid of it. But they always have this loyal community, loyal fan base, like a really like town that's supporting each other. So there are many things they could do better, but I don't think they can eradicate the hate entirely.
That's a really good idea, though. Like compiling all that, kind of like what you do, and like putting that in the TWAB would be really helpful, because that's the place that like everybody goes to see information from the dev. And a lot of people don't realize all the other stuff. I do like, however, that a lot of the devs have been retweeting or commenting on your stuff, though, to be like, hey, look at this person doing all this stuff for us. Here's all
I can see how they can necessarily say, yeah, we approve of this, because it can make them look bad.
Yeah.
Like when I remember Chris Barrett tweeted a tweet like, this tweet has nothing to do with Destiny, might be included in Shackle Shotgun's daily summary or something, and it completely broke my notifications. Hilarious thing about that were like a bunch of, there were two kind of responses, with like nerf fusions, and there were people insert a joke here about nerfing fusions. It was so hilarious to see the banter going back and forth, and a lot of people were just confused about what the hell I was talking about.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I can see how they can't outright say like approve this due to like legal reasons and whatnot, because I know there are lots of behind the scenes things in video game development. And I'm not sure where it's going with this, but yeah.
No, that's good. I also want to ask about your Photoshop skills, because I have no idea. Even Christopher Barrett, you speaking of him, commented and was like, "This is actually really impressive." When you took so for those who don't know, like the Warmine like promo shot that they have put out on the last swab for the new expansion coming out for Destiny 2. There's like a shot of the Warmine, but there's this thing behind it, like it's like two images overlaid, and somehow Shackle took the background image and did you recreate it? Is that what you did? Like it's incredible, but basically you can see what's behind the Warmine now.
I call it CSI cybering. For those who don't know what that is, don't look it up, because if you watch the series, your brain will freaking explode. But I wouldn't say that I have a lot of Photoshop experience, but I have some. And I just sort of like recreate it and sort of estimate how it might look like and follow patterns. And I like the end result. But I definitely didn't hack into Bungie's site. It's definitely nothing official, because I saw a couple of YouTubers like using it as a thumbnail and then write comments like, "Oh my god, where's the screenshot from?" So I added that GIF saying, "Hey, this is a Photoshop."
That's awesome that people thought it was actually official Bungie stuff. They're like, "Wait, where did Bungie release this photo?"
I mean, for all we know, like the bottom part of the orb is like, you know, that freaking scene from The Grudge with the girl's like jokingly destroyed, so it's maybe like tongue, like maybe it's lick a tongue or something. Freaking Kirby just sort of hanging there, like, and Rasmus speaks in a like really high pitched voice. Like, I don't know, it's an estimation.
Yeah.
Just for reference, for anybody who follows Lego or talks to Lego ever, that wasn't just like a, hey, this is something we want to talk about on the podcast. Lego talked about that picture like every time I played a game with him for like 3 days. Like, did you see that? It's so awesome. He put it in my Discord. He tweeted it, like everything. Lego was very impressed.
As someone who like screws around with Photoshop, like not that impressively, like I'm not that impressive with it, and like to see somebody else go on and do that, and like to see all the devs say it was impressive as well, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like actually really incredible. But now I'm gonna go Google what you told me not to Google, because I'm really curious and I'm gonna go down that rabbit hole. I'm ready.
Challenge accepted.
So that's what I need to do.
Don't watch it.
Don't do it.
I need to tell Lego not to do things I actually want him to do.
So in order to find out if Lego's excited or not excited about something, you have to play games with them. So I guess I'm not gonna know. I'm never gonna know that, Lego.
Triton, we played this week.
I know, dang it, it's not the same.
I'm actually playing Destiny for once. I still don't get invited.
Man, I almost just crashed your Star Wars game earlier. I know it's not Destiny.
In all seriousness, man, here's the thing with you. I'm not being a smartass. Like, you play video games like that's what you do. You're a streamer. So like, you're either streaming and we're not going to be like, hey man, I come do this, fuck your stream. And if you're not streaming, we're like, man, he's not playing. So obviously like, he's not like, doesn't want to play video games. So he just kind of like lets you
can attempt though. Just slide a little bit.
I'm on
like,
Mana's side.
In my chat, just be like, Mana.
Exactly, yeah.
No,
I
don't give me exactly, motherfucker, because you don't do it either.
No, I'm not saying that I do it. I'm just saying that like I agree. Like I like think that I could make more of an effort. That's what I'm saying.
I wasn't saying that we couldn't or shouldn't. I was just saying like I think that's the reason behind it. That's all. Man, you guys are
This took a real
I think
it got real
interpersonal turn here in the middle of the podcast. Shackle's just like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I gotta work it out.
Shackle, with the Photoshop stuff, I want to stick on it for 1 second. Not necessarily Photoshop, but like just as an artist in general, I saw you do like some other art yourself. Is that something that is that something big for you? Like, do you like spend a lot of time doing art, or is that one of your like favorite hobbies or anything like that?
Well, currently I'm just trying to build a portfolio and send that portfolio out to everyone who has a mailbox, to be honest.
It looks really amazing, your work, so it's awesome.
I live pretty much right next to a very reputable game studio, so I want to start working for them, but I definitely need more practice before I apply. So,
awesome.
But yeah, I draw things and then post them on Twitter and hope that people like that stuff.
Well, I think it's gaining attention. I think you're on the right track. It's pretty awesome.
That's been my master plan all along. Get big in the Destiny community with my summaries, and then boom, look at my art.
It's a good plan.
I drew something once.
It was me naked.
No, it wasn't.
It was almost like a French girl.
I wasn't going anywhere in that kind of. That's not. I can't even finish.
Okay, well, I think we're pretty much ready to move on to the TWAB unless you guys got anything else.
I do just want to mention quickly that we got a whatchamacallit, a
review?
a new review on iTunes that was one of the funniest things I think I've ever read, and it's like you have to like know the podcast because it's so spot on. You read it, right, Mana?
Yeah, I read it.
So last week, Matt Grundy had a review for us on iTunes. I'm trying to find it here. I think I got it. And it said, as soon as this picture loads, the title was The Parallelogram of Podcasts. And he said, breakdown of every podcast. Lego, dude who does everything he can to conduct a smooth, structured conversation. It's pretty spot on, right?
Seems fair.
Yeah. Hove, dude who does everything he can to stop Lego from achieving his goal. Also fair.
Yep.
Yeah, accurate.
Triton, dude who does everything he can to not say anything except super complex questions. He's had two already. And Mana once said, quote, eat it up like cunnilingus.
Also fair.
So
that is also true.
I was set up, man.
You were.
It was a setup, man.
I was off for 3 days, and generally I do my podcast. I listen to podcasts on my way to and from work, and I'll generally listen back through ours more for like, bettering myself reasons, like to see what we did right, wrong,
to see how you could mess me up better next time.
Yeah, pretty much.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And I completely forgot about that, and I'm driving to work just this morning. Because, like I said, I was off work for 3 days, so I didn't listen to anything. And that came on, and I heard Mana, and I just, I don't know. It was...
Well, I don't know how to transition out of that into the TWAB, but we're going to do it.
Well, shout out
figured
real
that
quick
was
to
a very...
Matt Grundy, who
Yes.
has listened from like day one.
Oh, wait.
I've actually met him in real life. Real awesome guy. So played with him the other day, too. So
we continue on. I just want to say, Lego, I finally got your fusion rifle.
Yes, I heard about this.
I got the Arentil. Is that how you say it?
I've been trying to get it.
What is
it? Sounds like a Lord of the Rings name.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
But oh my god, I finally am able to witness the ability to just destroy.
It's so good, right?
You literally can just go in and wilding out on people left and right.
Ooh,
ding. Like,
did you say ding?
Also, yes, you laser that guy. You zippity doo dah that guy.
oh gosh.
No. Ding.
And I can't fit my third word in, so I'm just going to end it.
That was a valiant effort, though.
That was.
But, honestly, it's my favorite weapon right now. Well, at least my power weapon right now that I have. It's actually really good.
Yeah, Lego, I figured you would have an easy time going straight into the TWAB from that top. I figured that was a pretty liminal topic.
No, but I do want to comment on.
Do I win because nobody dinged that?
No,
I mean,
we
you.
dinged
I mean,
it.
we dinged it.
So, Mana, your fusion rifling, I heard about it like right after you did it. Wilson came into a party chat with me, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, Mana finally picked up." He like spent all these tokens at the gunsmith because he specifically was like, "What was that fusion rifle Lego was using?" And you were like getting kills all over the place with it. So I'm glad you finally got it. And remember, just a little tip: I keep forgetting this even, and I've been using it forever. But that perk on it lets the last bullet, like the smaller the clip gets, the last like 3, 2, 1 shot that it has are like super accurate, super aim assist from a distance. So if it's your very last shot, just go for the craziest shot you can imagine. And you'll probably hit it.
That's how that works.
That's how it works. Yeah, I know. Because sometimes it doesn't connect, and you're like, "Oh, why wasn't it as good as the last time?" And it's because you're at the very beginning of the clip.
See,
you have to remember to let it go.
I gotcha.
I was just saying to somebody yesterday when Lego was killing it in Iron Banner, like, I think Lego's better at D2 than he was at D1, and I don't know why. And it's starting to dawn on me because I was playing earlier, and I have tried not to use Vigilance Wing lately, just to be not that guy. And I was like, I'm going to use it because that's all Lego will use.
Just
ever.
do it.
And, like, it was like running aimbot in PUBG. Like, I didn't even see a guy. I just turned and pulled the trigger, and, like, 3 people died. I was like, you're a cheater, Lego. This gun is ridiculous.
I felt the same way about the colony recently. So I have
that is
never
cheating.
used it, and then everyone was using it. So I was playing with a crazy sniper, and he's like, "It's all about that KDA. That's why I use it." And I'm like, "Really? It's that good?" So I just put it on, and we were playing. Since it's control, and everyone just like in this objective, I think I shot all 4 grenades over to the point. It was the new Shores of Time, whatever one that is on Nessus, and I think I got like 4 kills with it, like because they're all there. And I was like, well, this is way better than the rocket launcher I was trying to use. So I just started using it exclusively, and I'm like, oh, this is much better in terms of getting actual kills.
Most of the time when I hear it get shot, like I recognize what it is.
Yeah.
But I can't
I
turn.
hate that
Like
sound.
I'm still in the middle of like an engagement, and me being like stubborn. I want to finish my fight, and then I'm dead.
Then you die.
Yeah, I don't react quick enough, even though I register what's happening. I'm just like, oh no, and I'm dead. It was like
I have a
sound of
question.
nightmares.
Speaking of Shores of Time, so Distant Shores on Nessus, right?
Yeah.
Where wasn't Shores of Time on a different planet?
On Venus.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna question that the exact same fucking place is on 2 planets.
Like, what if
maybe.
the Vex
Blame
terraform
the
those
Vex.
things though? And so,
Oh,
Or any Crucible map nowadays could be technically in the Vex simulation, and we could have a potential for anything. You could just be like, well, it's in the forest, and the
Shax
Vex.
has no show.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just put an arena and just hell data freaking escape from hell.
Exactly. Shackle,
go.
what we've been talking about weapons. What are your favorite? Like, well, first of all, are you more of a PvE? I guess because your RPG, background. Are you more of a PvE player because of that, or do you like PvP too?
I like both. It depends on my mood. If I feel salty and angry, I just put on music, go in the random planet, explore the shit of it, even though I've done it 100 times.
Yeah.
But if I just want to hang out and play, just jump in the Crucible, and Shaxx yelling at you helps a lot. But I know I run like Better Devils, that raid pulse and tractor cannon combo, and it's such a douchebag build, but it works. And it feels so satisfying when you get tractor cannon kills, have entire montage with them. I like the colony. My biggest issue with the colony is the screams.
when they die, like the little death thingy.
Just freaking screech things. Biggest reason I did Crotus end more than once is because the freaking trolls terrify me. So every time I hear the freaking bug screeching, I just get flashbacks to Crotus end.
PTSD.
Yeah, I can't stand bugs. I hate that Mirelurks in Fallout and everything, and just any critters like. But yeah, no, I'm so in love with Tractor Cannon right now, and I can't wait for the Exotic Master of Reworks because it's gonna be a bitch to pick one weapon.
Well,
there's a segue for you, Lego.
I don't know. You take it, Hove.
No, you're the podcast boss.
No, I didn't know where you were going with it.
Exotic weapons. That's one of the things they talk about in the TWAB.
It is one of the things they talk about at the TWAB. I was gonna go for the Rumble thing they talked about first, but we can go into the exotic weapons.
You gotta
first.
take what you gotta learn, man. You gotta learn.
Okay, fine.
You gotta adapt.
So in the TWAB, we got some exotic weapon changes that they mentioned. We got the 3 that they showed off were Graviton Lance, Skyburner's Oath, and Rat King, and they all look pretty freaking awesome to me.
All of them. Just, bruh. What else can I say? They look exciting. It's exciting to see them work that way.
Yeah, so we already got description for Graviton Lance. We just couldn't, like in a previous TWAB, we just couldn't get to see what those projectile explosion things look like. And so they put out a video of it, and you can see like a fallen dropship come down, lets off all the bad guys, and they just let it go on them. And only I think he only shoots 2 of them, and from 2 of them, they all start exploding.
Well, I do want to point out, I don't think it's just, I think there's 2 people shooting Graviton Lance.
I think so too.
You see some big blue ball of energy come through.
There are
That's
3
not
people on the map.
Yeah.
Oh, 3 people. Oh.
Well, there's
I said
something
3
blue
dots.
that comes in too.
Me too. I don't know.
So I don't know if that was a fusion or what, but I do want to temper people's expectations a little bit, because it's not like you're going to shoot one person and the whole map's going to explode, because that's what they made it look like.
You need someone to go through the video, like frame by frame, zoom in the map, and like do photoshops and calculation 3D maps, so how many guardians there are happening, that kind of thing.
That sounds like a job for someone who has like scoured the internet for info from Bungie for months.
My video editing skills are trash.
Well, here we go, because
I have many talents, but video editing is not one of them. unfortunately.
Lego here, the 3-time movie of the week winner. It sounds like that sounds like a collab waiting to happen.
We need to do we need to do a project where she just sends me all the crazy Photoshop files and I'll just actually put video to it.
I need a Patreon for that at this point.
Yeah, for real. So the Graviton Lance, it does all that stuff. I think you're right in setting expectations for that. But I want to know, do y'all have any thoughts on, I mean, obviously we all think that looks cool. We're not sure exactly how much damage it does, blah, blah, blah. But I want to know, what are those blue orbs that are floating towards the bad guys in that sea? Like you can see like these 3 blue balls, like I think it's 3 if I remember correctly. You can see 3 blue spheres going towards the enemy.
Hove does know a lot about blue balls, but I mean, spheres, I don't know.
I'm sorry, I'm 12.
I don't know what it could be, but I think that's pretty interesting as far as like maybe a new exotic gun that they might introduce.
I was about to say maybe like a heavy weapon, like a 3-burst, like I don't know. Have you ever played Halo Reach, like the grenade launcher, like the plasma grenade shooter? Like that's what it kind of looks like, just
something like faster. That. Yeah.
Also, does it look like the Graviton Lance shoots a little bit quicker? It almost looks like a scout rifle.
Well, it's only 2 rounds.
Right? It's 2 rounds now. Yeah.
Oh, it's 2. Okay, it's just a quick 2.
And it doesn't like, what is it? It has unlimited range or something like that. Is the way they made it sound like whenever they were describing those 2 rounds and how they were saying like it shoots 2 and 1 like goes through them or something like that. I can't remember exactly how they.
It was real complicated sounding, and I don't remember.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. They made it sound really cool by like talking over my head. I was like, wow, I don't understand what's happening, so that must be awesome.
They kind of did that with
makes it sound better.
Yeah.
Later on in this post. But Skyburner's Oath was the next one, explosive rounds.
I'm excited about that.
Dude, it looks pretty awesome. So they
fireworks.
They added firebombs basically to the when you hit fire it shoots these explosive rounds. It does the same thing when you zoom in as it used to, where it's just the precision damage shot. So
and
now you
slower.
have yes, and slower. And so now you have basically an actual multi-tool. No, it's just a versatile weapon that can be used for a lot of different things. Whereas before you kind of always used it for scouting stuff no matter what.
Yeah, and they also said that it fires even faster, I think.
And the explosion,
and
the hit firing.
The rounds are not hit scan; they have like travel time and drop to them. I think so. They said think of it like a really small grenade launcher.
Yes,
and also they track.
They track.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, and they pointed out that they track to center mass, so it becomes almost impossible to hit precision shots. So to compensate for that, they tune down the precision multiplier, but upped the base damage, so that if you do hit a precision shot, it's going to be kind of like what they did with pulse rifles. If you do hit a precision shot, you'll be about the same as you were, but all the body shots you're hitting are going to be more powerful than they would have been.
I was playing PvP the other day, and someone in chat said they need fucking nerf the vigilance wing. I'm like, you have no idea what's coming. If you think vigilance wing is problematic right now, like it would be worse in like a month.
Well, that poses the question.
Feels good. The vigilance wing feels like what weapons should be going
like
towards
worth
right
using.
now.
Yeah,
I'm a little guilty in abusing it because I do love it. I
Lego's very guilty.
No shame.
No shame. Yeah, I know, but it's just like,
to be fair,
that's what I miss, the TTK.
They're not wrong. Like right now, it's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, it's ruling.
Right.
And going up against a full team of 6, I've hit those a couple times. It's just like, what are you supposed to do to go up against that? Really,
it's just that the fix.
Frustrating.
The fix isn't bring it back down; it's bring the other ones up, and then you'll have an even playing field. But right now, the vigilance wing is fucking ridiculous.
It's amazing, but it is ridiculous.
That poses a question, though. Like, do y'all think? Because they've mentioned before that when asked about time to kill, that the exotic weapon changes are going to probably average up the time to kill by just the exotic weapons themselves.
Decrease the time to kill. Okay.
And because of that, it makes me wonder, like, are all the exotics going to be the faster time to kill weapons, and you're going to have to sacrifice, like, well, do I want that faster time to kill with this, like, and you really have to play a chess game, like kind of it was in D1, like Last Word, like Thorn, those were like the go-to kind of things. Do we want that again, or do you like legendaries be able to compete with exotics like a little more? I just wanted to get y'all's take on that. Like,
I do kind of like the idea of like, okay, I got maybe like a legendary weapon, another legendary weapon, legendary weapon. Here's my 3 set, but I have 1 slot now for an exotic, and now all the other exotics are boosted up. They all have their little itty bitty like peculiar thing, something that the exotics have. What do I want to use? Like I can go with Skyburner's Oath. I don't know if it's going to be good in PvP at all. But maybe I can just, troll some people with how much probably I'm betting the explosive rounds is going to jumble you. It might be annoying. Or maybe I'll go, all my, my whole team use the Rat King, which we haven't even talked about it yet. It looks ridiculous. Like the way,
ridiculous.
I'm fine with.
I hope that's a thing, that comes back instead of just like the 3 exotics that you're going to go to right now.
I don't mind the changes. Like I just believe that exotics should be much harder to get. Because in Destiny 2 they really ran out of the candy. And I didn't like the idea of Azure even in Destiny 1.
Yes.
And usually once a month or something. It's really like fated engrams into your coins. Like it makes exotics so freaking easy to get. I think all that should be gone. I think sure make just 1 weapon and 1 random armor piece per week. Just make it not ridiculously hard, but still attainable. It's just that I don't know, if you're gonna make the exotics so goddamn powerful, you shouldn't like give them out to everyone. If you're an exotic, it should feel like an achievement. Oh my god, I did this difficult thing. Like I defeated a very difficult boss, not depend on RNG because that I don't want to rant about that. And I got an exotic and I'm proud of myself kind of thing.
It's like there's no surprise. Like like early D1 vanilla, you get that one guy every now and then that has maybe like Hawkmoon or something. You're just like, oh my god, this guy has like such and such. He's destroying with it. That doesn't happen anymore because you're just like everyone has everything almost, except for me because I suck and I haven't played in 4 months. But other than that,
I think I'm missing 4 exotics too.
I'm missing quite
Tractor
a bit.
Cannon, Prospector, Crimson, and one other one.
Wow. No, I'm like in the boat of like having all of them and just being like I like wanting the same thing that Shackle is saying. Like I want it to be like not so quickly you get them, and they kind of address that later on with light level a little bit, but I wish that they would address it with exotics rather than right now, or at least up till now, every like update we've gotten, there's been some tiny new way you can get exotics faster. And it's like, no, we don't want any more of that, but the problem is that even though we don't want that, there's a big portion of like Reddit and community that's like, oh, I hate getting duplicate exotics. And in their mind, they're like, well, we'll just give you the exotics you need and we'll give it to you faster. We're like, we're not asking for it faster. Like we want it to be rare still, so
I kind of wish, how like in D2 they finally introduced quests for like exotics and like weapons and all that. I kind of wish they've always had that system to where depending on what type of exotic and like how useful it might be, you're going to go on these hard quests. And or last week we brought up the fact that like Black Spindle had that secret
yeah
I want that so bad again.
Yeah, those would be cool.
Unless it's super hidden and no one's leaked it or no one's even like found a hint of anything in D2.
Yeah, everyone quit playing. Everyone quit playing so quick they didn't find it.
Man. But I want those type of things. I something to work for, and when you get it, boom, exotic in your face instead of hoping that RNG is going to bless you. It's the same thing with the DFA. Like so many people have grinded so many hours for the DFA.
I grinded so long for that.
Oh, shut up.
Hatred.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fine with exotics, I think, to Lego's question, being like a little bit more powerful than your common legendary. So, I mean, if we treat legendaries as like, your garden variety pizza or hamburger, maybe your exotics are like shish kebab or a wiener schnitzel or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
So
did he
just
use all of his? What was that?
No, I had to go into maximum overdrive to get all of them done.
That was his third one. Damn it.
So I'm fine with them being a little bit better because if they're rewarded in the way that you guys described, I mean, they're exotic weapons. So, I mean, a legendary necessarily shouldn't compete per se, but they are handed out to everybody. So right from the get-go, everyone will have most of them. But I think they should be, handed out in a way that's more of an achievement, less RNG. But I am fine with them being generally better than a legendary because they should be doing cooler things than that.
Right.
But to bounce back to the previous thing, one more quest like Outbreak Prime, because my favorite moment of Destiny community was like watching Dato for 6 hours trying to figure out that puzzle. That's definitely one of my most favorite moments happen in community. Just the magic of all the figuring out, cracking the code, like a one more quest like that, where the whole community sits at the stream and tries to figure out what to do. So I definitely want one more exotics band to quests instead of just pure RNG or Xur, just I don't know, exile Xur to Reef or something.
Like mysteries, in-game mysteries, to be solved by the community that leads up to something cool.
They could have even had that with Xur, like if they just didn't put him on the map, or even just put him like, hey, he's on this world, and the community goes and finds him.
Oh, community manhunt. That would be cool.
Every weekend there would be a community mystery that we would all solve together.
Just remove his marker in general.
Yeah.
Instead of like world's first Trials of Osiris, world's first who found Xur, like
it would be a big deal. Yeah, it would be awesome.
Yeah. Okay. No, I agree. I just
everyone was ready for it.
I do agree. Even though, and I don't think they did a good enough job of it, but even though we kind of talked about it, exotics could be cool even if they weren't necessarily straight out more powerful, if they all created, like, each one had something unique enough about it that it created a play style around it. Even though that would be cool, like, it still doesn't justify the whole, like, you can only use one. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're going to be limited to one, yeah, they should be more powerful. Isn't that why you're limiting it to one that you can use at a time? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I could see it go either way, and I'm honestly curious to see, because it could not be what I'm saying at all. It could be everything is balanced. They just meant every gun is going up in power, and exotics are kind of the head start to that. But I was just curious to hear y'all's opinions. I don't think I really have an opinion myself. I'd just be excited to try it either way. But that chess mix and match game, like in your inventory, does sound interesting to me, and I'd be curious to see how it went down. Mana mentioned the Rat King. That looks pretty awesome. Especially, I didn't even know it. Apparently, it already does like increase in fire rate, and they were like, some people don't even know this, and I was like, I didn't know that. Like, I never played.
I just got it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I never played with that gun, and I'm like, oh, you can do that. And
Man, I got it by accident.
I got it by accident while grinding for the DFA.
Like,
who was it that got it with me? I can't remember. Swords. We both had the quest. We both going for the DFA.
Awesome.
That
we're
quest,
like, what? We got racking? What
that quest was so stupid. I didn't even want to do it, and Mana did it by accident.
It's awesome.
I'm happy about it.
But
some of those quests were shaky, and adventures. Not a big adventure guy. So sorry, that was meant to be talking and undermining somebody's conversation. Mostly Hose. He stopped talking.
I'm sorry.
Random thought. Talking about exotics, and how you only have one because they're mainly, hopefully, more powerful or more, peculiar or whatever. What if they had a game mode to where you can wear as many exotics as possible and just go all out? How crazy would that be? Just pure insanity mode or whatever. 6v6. All exotics. Even armor pieces.
Mayhem.
Yeah, Super Mayhem.
Super Mayhem. There we go.
You could even do it in PvE, like how they had the Nightfall, Dawn. What did they? Daybreak. So bring back that, you could even call it Daybreak, but let it be that it be like Mayhem in PvE, but you can also wear all your exotics in PvE. Like like the one.
They should allow more things like that in
PvE. Let it be
fun. Yeah, they should allow you to become as powerful as you could become, just to do certain like things. Maybe they have like super hard, maybe not raids, but just like activities where like
all yellow bar enemies
Guardian,
or something.
Yeah, you're allowed to become absolutely like get to 335 light, wear as many exotics as possible. You need to murder things because you're going to need all these exotics and stuff like that. Like, I feel like those could be cool. If not, maybe would it be fair for more exotics if it's that hard? I don't know, maybe not. But maybe for like something, something to brag about. I think those could be cool.
I think that's honestly like something that would be really cool for this game to do, is just to like go out ridiculously in whatever, whether it's PvP, PvE, just throw out the most ridiculous thing. Like the way that we have weekly playlists right now in the Crucible, they're pretty conservative still. It's like we have Rumble, we have 6v6, it's just changing the number of players and stuff like that. Like I like it. I'm not complaining. I love Rumble. I love 6v6. But it would be awesome to see the weekly playlist be something ridiculous. Like you're saying, like we're all exotics.
Like Rock'em Sock'em Robots? That was one of my words.
Melee only.
Okay.
Like the Titan Bowl, like all like, you know, playing Rift with only shoulder charge. Something ridiculously stupid but fun.
They should have made Titan Bowl a damn game mode.
It would have been awesome. Just saying.
But yeah, the way I see it now is right as a testing ground. It's like have Rumble for a week, tell us what you think. Have Mayhem for a week, tell us what you think, and so forth and so on. And then eventually, once you have enough feedback, it will become like a permanent mode right now, the testings. Because if they release all of them at the same time, they won't get any like good data because people will be so random what people play. But now with the weekly things, you can force people to play Iron Banner for just 1 week, don't touch anything else, and then give feedback. And they said that they heard the feedback about wanting permanent Rumble and whatnot, but right now they sort of want to test out to see what works. Like, for example, this with 8 versus 8, people said, hey, spawns are chaotic, and there is that mitigation where they're lowered to 6, and now people giving feedback about that, and it's a process.
Yeah. It does kind of feel like a testing ground almost, like, because even they taught, I skipped it, but earlier in the TWAB, basically they were listening even to our feedback on Rumble after they changed it to 6-man Rumble versus 8-man. And now they're going to be changing the spawns around by the next time it rolls around. So they're making changes quick to this playlist. And so that makes me hopeful that they throw in doubles soon, or even that they, like some of the complaints that we had about Iron Banner, like getting spawned in like on the other side or stuff like that, maybe will be fixed next time it rolls around. Because it seems like they're implementing these changes really fast. Like it is kind of like a testing thing before anything becomes permanent.
Faux show.
Yeah. Last thing in the TWAB was the new power climb.
Real quick, we didn't really elaborate on Rat King. We just said we didn't know it increased rate of fire, like what they were really doing to it. Did we?
Yeah, so we didn't, but what they are doing is making it full auto, basically, so that when a group of people get together with that all have Rat King, and it doesn't matter if you have it equipped like you are holding it in your hand, or it's stored like and you're not holding it, you just have a different weapon out. As long as you have it equipped in your loadout, in your loadout, then it will affect everyone else who has Rat King, and everyone who has Rat King and stays in a group, they'll fire ridiculously.
Did you see
fast.
how fast it was?
Yes, it looks like.
It looks like it's glitching. Yeah.
Chewing on something. Like, that's what it reminded me. I was like,
Does it really look like that, or are you just saying that because you know that's what they want it to look like?
Because that's what it's named, I correlate it to that, yes. But it's crazy.
You're
it's
such a shill. How much are they paying you?
I'm totally a Bungie shill. You're right. You found me out.
You're off the
podcast. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. I stream Destiny. I get paid, apparently. I think I got some checks laying around somewhere that I'm not aware of.
Oh, I took them.
Oh, that's where they went. That's why he came over every week. Without me noticing, though. You texted me, like, I'm here, bye. Again.
But yeah, so after Rat King, we've got them talking a lot about PvE stuff. The basically new soft cap and hard cap for your PvE light level grind. So they're implementing for this new expansion for Warmind a 340 soft light cap, which is where you can get to playing any activity, basically doing whatever. You'll get to this level pretty fast. But then the hard cap is 380. And so that's the stuff that like in game is really going to be your way to get there. And things like clan rewards and things you used to use to level up more are not going to get you there as fast. They still said it would get you there. Like it said, like small increases in your light level, but mainly it was going to come from like doing the raid and trials. What do y'all think about this change?
Well, there were some squabbles in my mentions about how it harms the solo players and whatnot, but at least if you're a solo player, still give them a chance, even if it takes longer. But I think that's just a sacrifice to have to make in order to add the grind and everything. Like I play solo like 90% of the time, and I'm fine with it. Like, if it were up to me, I'll make it so that you can't reach max light or power, whatever. I won't conform to this new verbiage. New light without doing the raid. But I'm glad they're giving like you a chance if you're not a raider to sort of get max power. But we'll see how long it takes compared to if you did the raid or not, because it can be cruel if it takes so long. But
yeah, like in D1 where it was the
Forever
first
29.
whenever you had to do Atheon and you're forever
29.
29, yeah.
29. I think it depends on what it keeps you from, right? So if you can't reach the max, if it based on how low light you are, it pretty much kind of soft locks you out of an activity. That's different. So to me, I mean, I think it's fine that you have to do certain things to maybe reach 380. Maybe 10 light come from doing like nightfalls, 10 light come from maybe having to do trials, 10 from the raid, like something like that, where you get one piece that will take you to 380, but only from like one activity. I mean, I don't know how it's going to be implemented, but it all depends on like what getting 380 really matters for. So if it doesn't really keep you out of anything necessarily, it probably won't be as big a deal. But if it is, like you said, with Atheon, where being like level 29 was pretty punitive and no one wanted you no one wanted you in the raid group, I think that'll be different. So it'll all depend on, I think, how it's implemented in terms of what you can and can't do from 340 to 380.
Well, adding together the amount of information we got last week and the information that dropped this week about PvE. So last week they talked about how your light level is going to matter more, and you can be handicapped more in your light level, basically, that you could come against enemies that have question marks over their head just because they're so far above you.
Right.
It seems like light level is going to matter more in some activities, whether that's raid or, if you're doing the prestige nightfall once Warmind drops or something like that. Maybe it will matter more, but in a lot of activities, it really doesn't matter. Like in trials and anything PvP, it doesn't matter like at all. So, and that's what used to like worry me about like, man, I want to be the highest light for Iron Banner or something like that, but power doesn't really matter, or light doesn't really matter there. So, I don't know.
If they keep that model, that's probably okay. Like, I don't mind going on patrol, and maybe there's like, just like in the Cosmodrome, that first area where if you went underground, like in the very beginning, those question mark guys, I don't think anyone would care about that. Now, all of a sudden, if you can't like compete in PvP, like Iron Banner, which is specifically like a community driven, being sixes, what it looks like it's going to be, maybe trials could be light enabled or certain parts of the raid. I think that's when you get people who are like, oh, I don't like this. So I mean, if it's harder in PvE, that's probably okay, but I think PvP would be an area where if it's, light level specific, I don't know. I could see them not changing the model that they've gone with so far.
See, like at the beginning of D2, when we found out that light wasn't a factor in like Iron Banner and Trials, it was a bummer back then, because that's what I used to work for, other than maybe like the raid. But now coming back into it, I know a lot of people actually took time off, and now coming back into it and all that, and I'm behind is actually like, I'm like, whew, thank God they didn't have light level to have any factors now, because that would suck trying to get back into it. So, like, a part of me wished that it was still a thing, but now I'm just like, maybe it was a good thing they never added that. So I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted in a way.
I sort of miss it, but I think in Destiny 1 there was between like 390 and 400 in Iron Banner. So if they'll make the difference between 390 and 400 much bigger, then that won't matter. But like at that point when everyone's playing Iron Banner, like everyone had done like the high-end activities, everyone was max light level, so you never got to experience that light level advantage and whatnot. So it's tricky.
Maybe if they had like a different playlist, maybe like I'm not talking about like ranked, but maybe like a hardcore version of that, to where light level is like activated. That could be interesting, but it's
we're having trouble doing two playlists right now.
That's what I was about to say. Like, it's probably it's out there, but how cool would that be? Just having a mirrored version. It was just like, here's normal version. If you don't care about light level, if you're just playing casually, yeah. Here's the other version though. If you're like, you think you're up there, you highest light, whatever, you want to go up against other high light level, let's go for it. I don't know. I think it'd be neat.
Well, this is definitely one of those situations where I definitely don't envy Bungie at all.
Oh yeah.
With like the difficulty and the balancing act of making something challenging and grindy enough for a hardcore player or someone plays a lot, and but accessible enough for someone who plays sporadically, because you're always going to have like that gap is so big between the people who play the most and the people who play the least, that if you make it to where the people who play a lot are like, yeah, this is exactly what I wanted, then the people who barely play are like, I can't get anything done. Whereas this time, I think they went too far towards making it too easy, and I think a lot of people were like, I did everything, this is dumb, you know? So I think they definitely went too far that way at the beginning, and I hope they don't go too far the other way this time, but that's one situation where, you know, this is in general that you're never going to make everyone happy, but that's one thing that just the disparity between how much people play is so big that with something like that, you're never, ever going to make everyone happy. You're always going to have a very vocal section that either thinks it was too easy or too hard. You know what I mean? So I think these changes all sound good. I guess we'll see.
Yeah,
I mean, they could have identified where they were at in like the life cycle of the game. So to Shackle's point, like by the time they implemented those things, everybody was pretty much had done all the activities. So I mean, they always could have figured out like the attrition they've experienced for casuals is most likely like the attritional experience to some degree. I mean, they plotted like some regression line or something, but I would assume that they understand like, oh, well, you know, we'll implement this now because the people who will keep playing. I mean, I agree with Hope completely, but maybe they're in a point where they're just like, we can implement this now at this point in the game because we feel very comfortable that the people who are going to play are here. So we won't get too many people that are, you know, light level 250s still, you know, going against these 380s and maybe a light level activity like PvP and then complaining. And then usually, again, the people that are in that position probably aren't the most vocal people on Twitter every day, flaming everybody and so forth. So they won't be in that position to do that. So that could be where they're at. But I'm with Hope. I hopefully they do this somewhere in the middle where it doesn't. And I would imagine they have to because they've always had this approach in D2 not to try to exclude somebody. So I can't imagine that they're going to start doing that now. But you know, you never know. If you do understand where you're at in the life cycle of your game, then it's possible to do that without too much backlash.
It's funny that we talked about this earlier because it kind of echoes back to now. You know, we discussed earlier how, you know, some people were like, I started playing Destiny because I like RPGs, and I like Destiny because I like shooters. And now, like, that's almost working against them because they're trying to please all those different types of people separately, as opposed to the people who liked what they put together at the beginning. Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe
I mean, it's kind of always worked against them. Like, even in D1, there has been people who are like, I want the game more this way.
But I mean, they've tried to appeal to all of those more. Like, D1, they made what they made. Yeah. And then they listened to the community. And then it seems like this time, you know, you have, like, maybe shooter people who just like to go in, play a few rounds, run through a campaign, and that's it. Well, they don't want it to be super grindy and long.
And so light level doesn't matter in PvP.
And then you have the other side of people, maybe people that came over from RPGs and MMOs and like putting a ton of hours into games and grinding for things, and they want it to be harder. And it's just like those, you know what I mean? Like all those different people they brought together. And it's like we've talked about before, that I think Goth said the one time, like when you start to design a game for everybody, you begin to make a game that's for nobody. And it's like they tried to please all those different people that all want different things instead of just pleasing the people who already liked the way they put all those things together and liked the game in the first place. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
No, it makes perfect sense.
As a player that actually looks forward to all those aspects, I never actually thought about it that way.
Neither did I until right now.
I like RPGs and I like shooters, so all these things coming together, I'm just like, just make it better, you know? That's what I think. But I never even thought about the whole community divided by what they actually like and what Bungie is trying to make the game based off of what they like. That's actually interesting thinking about.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not a catch-all. Not everyone who likes shooters likes something very like easy in and out, just play a game or leave. But like, that's kind of the basis of just like a Call of Duty game, right? You just go in, you can play a few games, or the campaign's just one time through, there's nothing else. Like, there's not much depth to it. And then you have RPGs and stuff that are the exact opposite, you know?
Yeah. Well, before we move on to, I want to move on to some community questions in a second, but before we move on to that, I did want to point out that...
You haven't used any of your words?
No, not yet. I'm not going to use them yet.
And you can't use them in the Mad Libs, Leo. We've already.
No, I know. I'm getting to them. Just wait. But the community summit is going on right now, and I just wanted to bring it up. We don't know anything yet about what has happened, other than they talked like 7 hours of Destiny today. Unless Shackle, you saw something that we haven't seen yet, because she's got her radar dishes out. So
I'm pretty sure we're gonna see something because Twitch partners are notorious for not being able to keep a secret. So I'm pretty sure in a couple of hours or something, NDAs, like one NDA will be broken, someone DM someone, and then that someone DM another person, we get rumors going. So just wait and see with popcorn in our hands. But I haven't really heard anything yet.
Whoever ends up if that would happen, whoever ends up breaking that NDA will end up being a hero to everybody else, because having seen and signed one of their NDAs, it says that you are no longer obligated to not talk about it if someone else makes that information public. Do you know what
that's
I mean?
a questionable NDA.
I think that's probably like reasonable for all NDAs. I would think would operate that way, if it were like factually came out as something was true. But yeah, I just wanted to throw out there that it was happening. We're not ignoring it. Just no news has come out as of tonight as we're recording this podcast. So we'll see. I'm sure we'll find out soon enough, like Shackle said. But now that we are done with that, Hove, do you want to go spelunking in the cave that is these Twitter cat questions?
Spelunking, huh? Yeah, we got a couple Twitter questions, and anyone
Is that a ding?
Yeah, is that ding?
Ding, yeah,
it is.
I was going to naturally say spelunking. I don't know. On that one, 50-50.
I was impressed.
These
I was
words
like,
that
ooh,
come to my
okay.
mind, I
just anybody in chat as well, as I'm doing these ones. If you guys have anything you want to ask in general, or Shackle, or you just want to make fun of Triton, whatever you want to do, just throw it in chat and we'll figure it out.
I had a great one in chat a couple minutes ago. I don't know if anyone was in there.
I'm going to need you to stop talking. So, first question, HTX asks two questions. One it was for everybody, but thoughts on new exotic updates. We did cover that.
Yep.
And then a question.
Wait. I have a question for that one to add on to it more specifically.
No.
Thoughts on?
Nope.
No.
I'm in charge.
I'm adding one in.
I'm the boss.
You're the Twitter podcast boss.
What are
so
we
if I
doing
am the
right now, though?
actual
What are we
podcast
doing
boss,
right now, though?
You
I'm
are doing
afraid.
Twitter questions.
I'm scared.
But
Mom and Dad
here.
fighting.
No. We're gonna throw in which one out of all the exotic changes we've seen so far, which one are you most excited about? I just want to throw that in there. But you don't have to answer right now. Go ahead and finish Gabe's question.
Graviton.
Yeah, same Graviton.
Graviton, really?
It was actually
This is the
funny
worst
because
one
the
right now, I feel.
moment Bungie tweeted it, I was playing Iron Banner with TV, and we both just kind of threw on Graviton just because why not? That was getting hyped. But probably Graviton.
Mine would be, it wasn't listed tonight, but John Wisniewski has tweeted about it, the Sunshot, and how they've said they've seen like an explosion from it kill like 3 people.
Oh, I
the
forgot
Crucible.
about that.
That's going to be mine, because I think Sunshot is really awesome now, so if it's getting buffed, I'm like, I just love explosions, so all the explosions,
Same.
give them to me.
Shackle, about you? Which one are you most excited about, you think?
Tractor cannon. I'm really excited. I know what they're gonna do with tractor cannon. I hope they do it, but they can charge it up. And
I heard that
I
idea.
Followed place earlier. If it doesn't make a taken phalanx shit his spans, it isn't buffed enough.
I saw
I
that.
need to make it freaking fly into the sky. I need to freaking push it on a planet. That's how buffed I need it to be.
Yeah.
Launch them into orbit.
Wouldn't that be awesome if you could charge it, though? That would be so cool.
That would be cool. It makes me want it even more just in case it happens. Because I still don't have it. I have skins for it, though. I have skins for it, but I don't have it.
And the second part of HTX's question was for Shackle. First part was what got you into Destiny. We kind of covered that earlier, but what's your favorite thing about Destiny today, right now?
Shacks now. Like in general, like I love the world of Destiny. I love the lore. And the thing is, like, you can give me all the grand things you can, but I just want to see more of the world right now. I want to see more of the story, more of the characters. I'm really excited to see where they go with Rasputin, because Destiny is a very kinky game. How they've been edging us with Rasputin for the past couple of years, and I haven't done anything with him. So yeah. Sorry.
Oh.
It's like, Yeah,
That was good.
Rasputin is my favorite character. I've written like long lore analysis about him, and we'll see where it takes us. So I'm really hyped about that. But just I know I love the story. I love editing the characters. I love doing patrols. I love Ghost, and I'm excited for the future.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that part. I definitely am excited for the future as we're in this liminal stage. I just wanted to use my word again.
I have a follow-up.
It's a good word.
For this one, for the expansion, because you're so interested in the lore, Shackle. I was curious. You did the Photoshop stuff with the Warmind picture and everything. Do you have any thoughts on like what I'm sure you've heard lots of rumors about what you think the expansion could be about.
I think it's about Warmind.
Well, do you have any other thoughts though about like where you would want it to go with the story, or any thoughts about like I think it's going here?
Well, I don't want to speculate. I want to go in as blind as I possibly can, because before Rise of Iron, I made this like 20-minute video speculating, tying real Rasputin to Destiny Rasputin, how I believe like this is why Rasputin be the raid boss and everything, and maybe Mara Sov will show up and all that stuff. And then the raid boss ended up being like too fallen that no one cares about. So ever since then, I want to like ease up the speculating. I don't want to hype myself up with like fake expectations. I want to just like take in the product when I get it. But I really hope that they give us more stuff about Rasputin and maybe tie up some loose ends, because Rasputin is definitely one of my favorite characters.
Yeah. There's a lot of cool stuff with the whole Warmind thing. All right, question from chat for Lego. Why are you drinking Metamucil again?
It's coffee. I swear this is coffee,
okay.
y'all.
That one was from Hove76, by the way. Next question, also from chat, Shadowhunter90X. I think this is a cool question. We did kind of start to delve into this. Do you think Bungie should better define activities based on the type of player, as we talked about, such as patrols are for the casual to raids being for the hardcore?
I'd say no, because I think that's just like throwing out a date to some degree. Like I think it creates like I don't say it goes as far as stereotype, but maybe a stigma as to like who should play it or who shouldn't play it. Like maybe someone wouldn't give something a chance, like, oh, it's for casuals, I'm a hardcore gamer. I could see the point in trying to do that. Maybe it's like conversational, but I don't know if I would go as far to like officially publish or come forth with something like, hey, if you really like to challenge yourself, then do raids. Because I mean, raids can just be a fun and just like shits and giggles time or something like that. So I mean, like in PvP, quick play and competitive, I think makes some sense. But within PvE, I'm not sure if I would define them as much. But I do see like the root of the question. I think that would be, there is like I could see a justification for doing that, but I personally wouldn't.
Yeah, I think in theory, it sounds like a good idea, but I think then you end up with a very, very divided community.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was going to say.
And B,
create maybe like elitists and all that too.
Could you imagine, justified or not, the backlash from people who are like, I bought this game and you literally you told me to play half of it. Like, you told me I'm this type of player, so I am only playing half the content. Like, that would be like the end of the world. Twitter would blow up.
The question's good, but I think, thinking on it, I don't think it would be a good idea.
It's one of those things
like,
in theory.
like you said, it would split. Yeah, it would split the community even more than it already is.
Like the time my chat donated money for me to eat 12 tacos on stream. In theory, eating 12 tacos from Taco Bell is wonderful. In reality,
who didn't like that? Only one person didn't like that.
In
Everyone
reality,
that watched it liked it.
It ruined tacos for me for like months. If I saw a taco, I wanted to throw up.
Which is a big deal for somebody to ruin tacos for you, right?
It was terrible.
I think your community loved it, though. I think you're the one who didn't.
Yeah, no, they thought it was fucking great. I thought it was great. I thought it was fantastic through about 4. And then 6 was like, I don't need these, but whatever, they're here. Then I got to like 8 or 10 and I was like, this is no longer enjoyable.
When did this happen?
Not that long. Well,
it's probably been almost a year now.
Year ago. 10 started to get uncomfortable to watch on stream. I'll be honest.
How long of a time frame did you have?
Oh, I was just sitting here, just eating tacos.
Just sitting there eating.
People.
It was like that real life eating thing.
It was like, anyone in my chat in here? Why didn't you guys get me to do this? Like, I eat on stream anyways. It was for me to eat.
Here's the biggest thing. It was a taco 12-pack from Taco Bell. So 6 of them were like the Doritos tacos. There's like, you know how usually sodium is measured in milligrams?
Yeah.
Like there's 1,000 milligrams in a gram. Each one of those tacos had like 7 grams of sodium. So like I said,
That's like our that's in the game.
yeah. So like I said, I got to like 10 or so, and I was like, this is no longer enjoyable. I hate my life. And then 11 and 12 were like, can I swallow this without throwing up?
It was uncomfortable to watch.
It was terrible. It was one of the worst experiences of my life.
I felt okay about it. I just didn't feel great for you.
If there was a question ever asked on the podcast, like, in your life, what is one thing that did not go at all like you planned that it would? That would be my answer.
But yeah, to get back on topic, I think.
Thank you, Shackle.
Yes.
See Lego doing a
Thank you,
bad job.
Shackle.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I think the problem right now is that, like I said, that discussion I went through matches yesterday. The problem right now is that it's very hard to find people to raid with in the game. So I think if they implement a way like better matchmaking, better way to find people to raid with, they could like add that gap, like make raids extra hardcore and patrols extra casual and whatnot. Like for me, like I would easily find raids because I'm always like on Twitch or on Discord, so all I have to do is like push an LFG channel, hey guys, I want to run the raid, and then let's go. But some people, they just don't have the time to go on Twitter on Twitch and whatnot. They just want to hop in, do a raid, and then go to sleep. So if they make an LFG in the actual game, then I believe it would be a less of a split between the community.
Like make guided games better.
Yeah, like I like the idea of guided games, but it just doesn't really work right now. But it's still in beta according to the game, so maybe progress will happen.
I
I did a
think
Nightfall. I thought so many people would be doing that Nightfall, like for the DF. I was like for sure thinking guided games would get me into a group. And I mean, not that I'm not appreciative that I was able to like leave, make a sandwich, eat a little bit of lunch, and then like watch some TV for 10 minutes, but it was like, you know, I really thought that I was going to match quicker for it. So, I mean, yeah, to Shackle's point, it's still in beta, but they need to do something with it so that it's more, I don't want to say useful.
Here's the thing. But like you go into Destiny, you use the game chat. It is not the best thing ever. Like if you use like guided games and stuff, like it requires you to have the mic and all that. A lot of people don't even use that, or they're probably in a party with someone else that they're talking to while they're playing. It's like,
yeah, I think it's
if you use game chat, it doesn't sound good. No. I don't want to ever use game chat.
And NAT issues. I can't talk with people in the US in the game chat because of NAT issues.
Right.
It's not high quality. If they can somehow update that, that might actually help the issue of, you know, guided games and all that. Maybe more people would like to attempt to, you know, go through, find another random group and to communicate.
I think isn't the main problem with guided games right now, though, more so like it takes so long to find someone if you're the one looking versus if you're the one hosting for that one extra person to come join you. It's like there's no incentives to do guided games because you don't get any extra rewards for helping other people. You know, like if they
like
provide an emblem or, you know, shaders or something for like people helping other people, incentive for them to do so, then maybe that would increase the population of people doing guided games. And then on top of that, if they just opened it up for stuff like raids or like bigger stuff, I don't know. Like I feel like the main thing is incentives.
I mean, the system definitely needs some work, and they've said that, and like Shackle said, like they still consider it in beta. But I think the biggest problem is they introduced guided games, which is something that requires a population, as the population plummeted.
Yeah, so, I guess so.
And there's no reason to do Nightfalls until recently.
Well, now there is, though, and so we're starting to see a little more, I think.
I mean, I guess to Lego's point, when Mav and I did do, like, to get the emblem, and also I think it was like the Pyramidion, probably, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 months ago. And we were able to find people really quickly. So we would leave it because that was a very quick one that you could do. It was just the week that it was set up. Maybe the burns or the modifiers were good. So we were able to get through it in like 15 minutes or something. And then we would find someone immediately. But when you are seeking, you could be seeking for a long time. And one of the things I noticed too is if you don't plug in a microphone, I don't think you queue right away. So at first I didn't have a microphone plugged into my controller, and it was like a black screen with like the little loading Destiny emblems. And then it just told me that I didn't opt into the oath. So I'm like, oh, that's weird. So then I did plug in a mic, and then the screen comes back to you in orbit and the oath popped up. So I feel like you absolutely, at least as a seeker, have to detect that you have the mic. I mean, it says it's required, but it has to do that. And then it still took me, like I said, about 15 to 20 minutes to find anybody.
Wow.
I mean, I figured
That's
with
ridiculous.
DFA last day is like, well, I thought for sure I would find some people quickly.
The thing is, the DFA was so ridiculously easy to do, man. I was just hanging in the tower, and this dude says, "Who hates life enough to run to the Nightfall anymore?" So he's like, "Why not?" And then we became friends. So we just two-man to Nightfall over and over, and none of us got it. And then we picked up a third person. That third person got 2 DFAs.
No way. He got 2? Oh,
You didn't friend that guy, right? You didn't
double the hatred.
He already had one, and then he got 2 extras.
Wow.
So,
My kind of
but
guy.
What?
yeah, it was so easy to two-man. So I can see why people didn't use Skyder games for that one.
Okay.
We ran with 2 or 3 groups, and the only other person that got it besides me was Kami. And I only saw one other drop. And I didn't think I was going to get it because I had 7 minutes left, you know?
That makes me feel bad that I couldn't find one friend to 2-man it then. Lego. So, I mean,
So
Come on.
last Twitter question, only because I don't know if this means we do a good job or a bad job, but we answered a lot of the questions like throughout the podcast already. But last question from, well, he changed his name to I bear an old dragon. It cannot be handsome, but it's handsome dragon.
okay.
For whoever wants to answer, if Bungie made a movie about Eris and her Crota fire team, what genre movie would it be, and who are your marquee actors or actresses? For reference, Toland, human male, Ariana 3, exo female, Eris, human female as your mains.
Wait, what? Hold on. So, movie about Eris and her Crota drama. What genre and who would you cast as the people?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Well, there's so many joke answers I could give to this, but there's so many Tommy Wiseau jokes I could make tonight. This could be very scary. I want it to be like animated by Gerald Scarfe, or at least his style. For those who don't know, he animated big parts of Pink Floyd The Wall. If you want to have a taste of his style, look up the video for Pink Floyd's Goodbye Blue Skies, like very dark, fluid animation that I really love. And I want to animate it with original voice actors because nothing can replace Eris's voice. And like the sinister soundtrack. I know I'm not a fan of live action video game films. They never work out. It's like the voice that always throws me off. So I wanted animated. And I see like prefer like 2D because I think there's a magic with 2D animation compared to like CGI.
Yeah.
I like that direction. I was thinking live action, but like you said, most live action adaptations of like video games and or like other things, they don't really go together. It's like the characters, they can never get the characters right, ever. Even if they have like high budget CGI and all that. So I'm also going to say animation, but I'm going to say like Cowboy Bebop animation. But like I'm going to say like horror. It's going to be a horror.
Yeah. You're a whore.
Cowboy Bebop, also yes, type-esque movie. And I think I would love it. I would love it if it was like that. For the characters, I don't know where to go with. What was that question? Like how did the example go?
Who would you cast, pretty much?
The cast is the part that's holding me up. I'm with Mana right now that I would go live action, and it'd be horror, and I'd have Guillermo del Toro direct it because he's really good with characters and he loves monsters and stuff like that, and is really good at bringing those to life. So I'd for sure, like, not his new stuff, but like, which I know he's won awards for and stuff, but like the old like Pan's Labyrinth style, hands in the eyes kind of stuff. Like that's the direction I would go, but I'm not sure who I would get to act any of that. That's the hard part. I'm held up on that.
By the way, the hands in the eyes stuff back in the day, that messed me up as a kid.
So good.
That messed me up. That was one of the creepiest things I've ever seen back then. Just saying. I was just adding it. Okay, back to you guys. Just thanks.
Mine would be like a buddy cop comedy.
Oh my gosh. You need Kate in there for that, right?
In the opposite direction as us.
Yeah.
Like Rush Hour.
I think it would be directed by Judd Apatow, and it would be starring Seth Rogen as Toland.
Not Tommy Wiseau is Toland, you sure?
Maybe, yeah, Tommy Wiseau. Yeah, we're gonna go with Tommy Wiseau as Toland. That's all I got because I can't think of I don't know. That's all I got.
I didn't teabag her. I did not.
I do know who would
Oh, hi, Eris.
No, I changed it up. Tommy Wiseau's playing Crota.
Come on, I want to see it now.
Tommy Wiseau is Crota with a big sword.
With a big sword.
Yeah.
Thank you for adding that.
Yeah, he'd have a big sword. You know what I mean? Like all those lines, but he'd be like, like, oh hi guys, like as they come into like his like throne room thing, whatever it is. That's what it is. Judd Apatow, Tommy Wiseau, we in there.
It sounds good. Triton, did you say yours yet?
No, but I was also leaning comedy just because like what I remember about Eris the most is like she'd be like the only one at Tower, and everyone else would be like, "Oh, how's your day going?" And you go see her, and she'd be like, "The world is ending," and it'd be like it's everybody else. So I was gonna go with like Rachel Dratch, that lady that did the Debbie Downer on Saturday Night Live. So she would be her, but then I was gonna surround her with a cast where everyone is like very serious. So the voice of the speaker was like Bill Nye, right? Something like that. He's been a couple things. He was like the main.
Oh, he's pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I was gonna have him be Tolan. So I was gonna have all these like serious, like kind of more acclaimed actors around Rachel Dratch, who's just gonna be like this Debbie Downer the whole time. That's pretty much the show.
That's good.
Or whatever.
Well, now I want to switch mine up. I want it to be horror still, but like horror with comedic elements because now I really like comedy.
Like Shaun of the Dead.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's good. That
like
would
there's
be
horror
good.
elements, but then like comedic stuff happens, and I just want to see Jackie Chan and like Owen Wilson or whatever to get back together somehow in it, or maybe and then add Chris Tucker,
Dude.
and Morgan Freeman.
So since it's Crota, you could do, if you did Jackie Chan and Owen Wilson, you could do like Shanghai Moon, since you have to go to
By
the
the way,
moon.
ding ding ding.
Oh.
Morgan Freeman. This was perfect.
You Morgan Freeman with your word? Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I was going to say Crota as Morgan Freeman.
Is that all three of yours already?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Lego
'Cause you
with
did
none.
Zippity Doo on Wild
I
and
did.
Out together. So I have one. Eris would be Barbara Streisand, by the way.
Oh my god.
Gee, I can.
That's all I got.
Who's that?
Barbara Streisand is Eris.
I'm not sure who that is.
What?
What?
Maybe I'm not just the name. I'm not sure.
Barbara Streisand.
If he says it more intently, your memory will get
He's
better.
staring at me and saying,
Barbara Streisand.
"Yeah."
Are you kidding?
Names, man. I'm bad with names.
Barbara
I'm bad with-
Streisand.
No, you definitely know who this is.
I don't
I'm
know
gonna
what
put a
else
picture
to
in
say.
chat.
Also, is there
Alright.
another male? I don't know who the other
Wait.
three. Who were the other three in the fire team?
Hold on, I just got
Or
to
was it
point
just
out.
three? It was a three-man fire
His,
team.
his Fury in chat says Beyonce would play Mara Sov, and I think that's a pretty good casting right there.
Oh, this actress. When's the last time you seen her in anything?
She. I'm done with you.
It was like 1973 was the last thing she was in, man.
She
Like,
was
I
just
don't
in a
know
movie.
her.
First of all, she's more famous as a singer.
Oh, that's another thing. I don't listen to music, so.
Second of all, she was just in a movie with Seth Rogen a few years ago.
What was it?
Guilt Trip.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, well, I understand that. But you just said she
Was it
hasn't been.
1973? Is that long ago?
I hate you. Danny McBride would also be in it.
Danny McBride's a good one.
Yeah. Pretty much just that whole crew. It's just going to be This Is the End Crota version.
This.
Which that's what
Simon
Cronus.
Pegg in there as well.
Yeah, with Simon Pegg.
It's like
Exactly.
the sequel to This Is the End. They all fall into like the hell hole, but it's actually the hell mouth. And then Crota,
Oh my
and then they land down there, and Crota goes, "Oh, hi guys," and it's Tommy Wiseau. Boom, boom, Hollywood gold. You guys think Avengers: Infinity War is gonna break records? This is the end. Crota version.
I've never seen this.
Versus- that's the official.
Yeah. Did you
Crota
see?
version.
Did you see Meet the Fockers?
Yeah, I did see Meet the Fockers.
Yes.
That
actually.
was his mom.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, she hasn't been in a movie since 1973.
What? That was practically like 40 years ago that a movie came out.
Oh God.
Meet the Fockers? That's like an 08 movie, right? That's
Yeah,
like
like
08.
in my years, it's like 40 years ago. So it's-
Okay.
What do you age?
Gator
Do
years.
you age
In
at a
Gator
different
years.
rate than us?
no, whoa, you can't. Going
we're
with the Asian
we're getting
assumptions
pretty
again, man.
off track on the Twitter questions here. I know we spent quite a lot of times on actors and actresses here, so I want to respect Shackle's time with us. We really appreciate you coming out on the podcast tonight. So we're gonna start shutting things down here. This has been
We're not
Lego.
gonna do a Mad Lib.
Yeah, okay, we'll do a short little Mad Lib. Just short. Like has to be like few.
It's only 11:45.
Don't worry.
It's not 11:45 for
word.
Shackle. Let me tell you.
Let me tell you,
Okay,
it'll
it might
be
be a little different.
it'll be short, but it's not the length that matters anyway, Lego. It's the girth. All right.
Okay.
Oh,
Whatever you
come
say.
All right. So this is gonna be.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's really long. Never mind. This one's called. I don't know if it's gonna be any good or not. This one's really long too. Why can't I find any not long ones?
See, a good podcast host
Ooh, I got
would
one.
have the... Okay.
How not to be like Justin Bieber.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. So Lego adjective.
Smooth.
Mana noun plural.
Noun
Do you know what a noun is?
Light bulbs.
Shackle adjective.
Around.
Triton noun.
Biebs. Is it like? I could use Biebs. Not
Round.
Justin
No.
Bieber, right?
No.
I
Also,
can't use Biebs.
while we're here, chat, you get to do the last word, and it is going to be a verb. So I need a verb from chat as well. Triton, I still need a noun. It's not that hard. There's a lot of them.
Restaurant.
You guys have the lamest
I'm looking at a
words.
menu.
Noun, plural, pickles. Lego, adjective.
Pickles is that much better than restaurant? Come on.
Pickle chips.
Harsh.
Man, a verb.
Thrust.
Nice, man.
Shackle, noun.
Boobs.
Yes.
Right.
It's late.
We have a winner. Triton, noun.
Penis.
Wow, he went.
Just like
He
a moment ago.
We were like
He
going
didn't even-
downhill, and I'm like,
He didn't even
well.
keep it subtle.
No.
Like, going there.
Just so you know, the next one is mine, and it's part of body.
Where you can go. Oh my gosh.
We're gonna go with
Armpit. Say armpit.
Little toe.
Little.
we're gonna go with
Nostril.
rectum.
Okay.
Yeah, we're rock bottom.
What was
Yeah,
the one the other week? A
We're
Swiss
rock
punch?
bottom now.
Oh, that was already rectum, wasn't it?
I mean, it's been
Yeah.
going downhill. I just
All right, Lego.
We crashed.
Lego location. We got one more round.
Location. The Cosmodrome.
Nerd.
Mana noun plural.
Noun
a
plural.
lot of noun plurals from Nana tonight.
G strings.
Oh my god.
Mana's been looking around his room there, so there must be a couple of those laying around.
Shackle, full name of a person.
Oh god.
Here's your chance to throw that friend under the bus. You've been waiting for this moment.
Nicolas Cage. I don't know. My brain's not right.
That's a good one, actually.
That's an excellent choice, actually.
National Treasure was on TNT earlier.
Triton verb.
Endowed.
Okay.
Is that a word? Is that a verb?
Yeah, it's like a past particle, I think.
Oh, but we're not going with past. It's just verb.
Endow.
Okay.
We're not doing endow. Pick a better word.
Humped.
Hump.
Let's go with humped.
Okay.
We're already like.
Let's
going
see.
down.
This last one, I'm just going to look for. Chat is picking a verb. We have drink, chop, steam, or
Steamed ham.
steam. We go with steam.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody said hump, but we already have hump.
Yeah.
Apparently,
We'll go with humped.
we.
It was probably going to be the winner if we didn't add that.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
All right, here we go. It's loading.
This is gonna be terrible. They're all bad.
It's gonna be the worst. How not to be like Justin Bieber. Do you want to succeed in life? It's smooth, Follow these simple light bulbs. Step
All
1.
right.
Don't wear round makeup that makes you look like a restaurant. Step 2. Do not swear at pickle chips. It will land you in a not so harsh position. Step 3. Do not do drugs. It will thrust your boobs.
That's almost accurate.
I don't really. Step 4. Do not wear glittery purple outfits if you. Do not wear glittery purple outfits if you are a penis. Please, for our rectum.
Yes.
Step 5. Do not be an idiot. Hold on. The page is freaking out. Stay in the Cosmodrome, kids. Step 6.
Noobs.
Don't call people beached whales. It is unattractively rude. I feel like none of those were our words. That's
Yeah,
like
no,
No.
our words
We
at all.
definitely didn't.
they just don't want you to call anybody a beached whale.
They just like giving advice.
I mean,
Step 7. Don't
sure, I
sing.
guess.
Don't sing really high, please. Apparently that one didn't have any new words.
Yeah,
in
that
it
one
either.
wasn't any words either.
Step 8.
They lost hope in us.
Don't make people think you are Hannah Montana with a new voice.
Again,
What?
Why?
Why?
Step.
Are you
Looks
making?
like we're going to have to do another one.
Who's making these up?
I'm not. Step 9. Do not call your fans G-strings.
Okay, back on track.
And step 10. That haircut only works for Nicolas Cage. that haircut only works for Nicolas Cage. Don't even hump. And that's how not to be Justin Bieber, apparently.
There we go. That's how you do it, folks. Well,
That
this
was
has been
informative.
RezoCast, episode 82. Thanks for joining us, everyone. This has been
Lego, you
aka
also forgot your most important thing, like you do every week.
Yeah, I know. It's okay. This has been Lego, aka Legole Flash, the guy who forgets all the words that he needs to say in one podcast.
That's not what I'm
episode.
talking about. I'm talking about the actual
No.
important thing you need to do.
I'm not there yet. We'll talk to it later.
Oh my
We'll
God.
talk about it later. So you can find me on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube at Lego LE Flash Hove. Where can they find you?
Twitter and Twitch, Hove76, HOV76. And in the Cosmodrome, singing like Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Triton,
Yeah, you can find me in Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, all under Triton Please. One word, please being PLZ. How about you, Mana?
You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, mainly all the time on Twitch at the Manigator. I am attempting to come back to YouTube.
oh God.
It's
Give
a
it up.
long and strenuous situation.
Give it up.
Because the first time I attempted really crushed my spirits because I didn't save anything and it crashed. Like, honestly, I almost gave up right there. But everything at my YouTube, the Manigator. It's been so long since I actually been on my YouTube channel.
I don't know.
think it's the
You
Manigator.
told us they're all the same now.
I think they're all the same. I could have been lying. I don't know.
You are a liar.
Type in Manigator and you'll find me eventually.
Yeah.
But
Shackle, what about you?
Shackle. That was mine. I could have got it.
You can find me on Twitter, on Tumblr, under Shackle Shotgun. You can find all the embarrassing VODs on Twitch. We're going to talk about that. You can find me on Blizzard and I'm of Hotgun because Blizzard doesn't like freedom and I can't have my full name. You only have Shackle Shotgun, so I still with Hotgun. Any other impersonator, not me. If you see my tractor can, it's definitely me. But yeah.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much for joining us again. We really appreciate you coming out. It's been really awesome having you this
Thank you for
episode.
having me.
Yeah, for sure. You guys can find more about RezoCast at RezoCast on Twitter. We'd love to talk to you. If you enjoyed the episode, please leave us a review on iTunes. We really appreciate it. You can also find more about Team Resolute at Team Resolute on Twitter. And you can find a little bit about Blue microphones and headphones because that's who we're sponsored by. And we really appreciate them with all of these microphones and headphones they've given us. And we'll be doing a new
what
giveaway.
headphones? Lego.
So we'll be doing a new giveaway soon. I'm the rebel without the headphones right now, but we will be doing some giveaways soon for some Lola headphones or a new fancy Yeti microphone. But yeah, we'll give details about that soon. I think that's it. Guys, is there anything left this week that y'all wanted to throw out there? Y'all good?
Next week, find us not on Thursday night.
That's right. Next week, we'll be streaming on Wednesday night, same time. Just heads up, guys. But podcasts will come out as usual at usual time, unless maybe a little earlier. So be on the lookout.
Because we're all going to see Infinity War. Not together.
Probably. Yeah, we're making excuses.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's it for this week. Until next time, guys. GG.
GG. Stay in the Cosmodrome and make sure.
Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs.
Certain haircuts only belong on Nicolas Cage.
Specifically, Nicolas Cage, of all people, apparently.